Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of Learn English, the channel where we help you speak English naturally and confidently. I'm Luna.
And I'm Martin. Hi, everyone.
Martin, that was a very low energy introduction. Are you awake?
Sorry, Luna. I'm awake, technically. But honestly, I'm feeling a bit out of it today.
Out of it, huh? We'll talk about that in a second. But first, before we dive into today's topic, we have a quick favor to ask our amazing viewers.
Right. If you are enjoying our conversations and want to improve your English listening skills, please hit that subscribe button.
Yes, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. It really helps our channel grow and helps us create more videos for you.
Also, if you learn a new word today, give us a like. It's a small click for you, but it means the world to us.
Okay, admin business is done. Now, Martin, let's get real. Leaning in closer to Martin. You look like you haven't slept in days. You have bags under your eyes. What is going on?
Is it that obvious?
It's very obvious. Did you pull an all-nighter working on a project?
I wish it was work. No, I went to bed early. I was in bed by 10 p.m. I was ready to sleep, but my brain just wouldn't shut off.
I know that feeling. Let me guess. You laid down, closed your eyes, and then you started thinking about something embarrassing you did 5 years ago?
Close. It started with a text message I sent to my boss yesterday. I started wondering, was I too casual? Did I use the wrong emoji? Does he think I'm unprofessional?
And then?
And then, 2 hours later, I was staring at the ceiling, worrying about losing my job, losing my house, and living under a bridge. It was a nightmare.
Oh, Martin, that sounds like a classic case of overthinking. You went from a text message to living under a bridge in 2 hours. That is impressive, but also exhausting.
It is. I'm mentally drained. Is this normal, or am I just going crazy?
You are definitely not crazy, and you are not alone. In fact, that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Turning to camera, today we're discussing overthinking, why we do it, why it destroys our peace of mind, and most importantly, how to stop it.
Please tell me there is a way to stop it. I need sleep, Luna.
There is, and I have some great strategies for you. So stick around, grab your coffee, or in Martin's case, maybe some water, and let's get started. So, Martin, let's go back to that moment. You said it started with a message to your boss. Walk us through it. What exactly happened?
Okay, picture this. It was Tuesday afternoon. I had just finished the monthly report. I felt good about it. I attached the file, wrote a polite email, and hit send.
That sounds perfectly normal. A job well done.
That's what I thought. But then the waiting game began. Usually my boss replies within 15 minutes. He always says, "Thanks, Martin," or "Received." Always.
Okay, and this time?
Radio silence.
Nothing?
Nothing. 15 minutes passed, then 30 minutes, then an hour. By the time it was 5 p.m., I hadn't heard a single word from him. And that is when the spark lit the fire.
So the trigger wasn't something he said, it was what he didn't say.
Exactly. My brain started looking for reasons why he was silent. I opened the sent folder and reread my email, and then I saw it.
What did you see? A massive error? Did you accidentally insult his mother?
No. I realized I didn't put an exclamation point after "have a nice weekend." I just put a period, a full stop.
Wait, you're telling me you couldn't sleep because you used a period instead of an exclamation point?
It sounds silly now, but in my head at that moment, it was a disaster. I thought, oh no, I sound angry. I sound passive-aggressive. He thinks I'm being rude.
Martin, that is a classic example of blowing things out of proportion. You took a tiny detail and made it huge.
But it didn't stop there, Luna. That's the thing about the spark. It grows. Once I convinced myself that I was rude, my brain jumped to the next conclusion. He's ignoring me because he's mad.
And let me guess the next step. Since he is mad,
Since he is mad, he's probably checking my work for other mistakes. And if he checks my work, he'll see that I was 5 minutes late last Monday. And if he sees that, he'll realize I'm not a dedicated employee.
and therefore,
Therefore, I'm getting fired.
wow, the snowball effect is real. You went from punctuation error to unemployed in less than a minute.
It gets worse, Luna. By 2 a.m., I wasn't just unemployed. I was imagining myself trying to sell my guitar on the street just to buy instant noodles. I was literally planning my life as a homeless musician. All because my boss didn't reply to an email.
And the funny part, did he ever reply?
Yes, he replied this morning at 9 a.m.
And what did he say?
He said, "Thanks, Martin. Sorry for the delay. I left early yesterday for a dentist appointment. Great work."
He was at the dentist. He wasn't plotting to fire you. He was probably getting his teeth cleaned.
I know. I felt so relieved, but also so stupid. I wasted so much energy and lost a full night of sleep over a scenario that only existed in my head.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Martin. This is exactly how overthinking works. It starts with a spark, a silence, a look, a typo, and our imagination adds fuel to the fire until it burns down the whole house.
It's exhausting, Luna. I can't keep doing this. My brain needs a break.
Well, the good news is, now we know what the problem is. You are an expert at creating catastrophes out of nothing. Now we need to learn how to put out that fire before it spreads. So, Martin, we've heard your story about the email and the dentist. It's a funny story now, but it brings up a serious question. What exactly is overthinking?
To be honest, Luna, I'm a bit confused. I thought thinking was a good thing. We need to think to survive, right? If I don't think about my work, I'll make mistakes. So isn't overthinking just being very careful?
That is a common misconception. There is a fine line between being careful and overthinking. It's the difference between problem solving and ruminating.
Ruminating? That's a big word.
It is. Rumination means chewing on the same thought over and over again, like a cow chewing grass. It's when your brain gets stuck on a loop.
A loop. Yes, that's exactly what it feels like. Like a song stuck in my head, but instead of a melody, it's a worry.
Exactly. Let's look at the difference. Problem solving has a destination. It's linear. You have a problem, you analyze it, you find a solution, and you move on. It's like walking from point A to point B.
Okay, point A to point B. That makes sense.
But overthinking is circular. You start at point A, you walk in a circle, and you end up back at point A, usually feeling more tired and stressed than when you started. You don't move forward.
Let me try to apply this to my email situation. If I was problem solving, what would I have done?
If you were problem solving, you would say, "My boss hasn't replied. Is there an error in the email? No. Okay, he is probably busy. If he doesn't reply by tomorrow morning, I will follow up."
And then I would stop thinking about it?
Yes, you made a plan. That is the solution. Action kills overthinking. But instead, what did you do?
I went down the rabbit hole. I asked why and what if 1,000 times. What if he hates me? What if I'm fired? I wasn't looking for a solution. I was just suffering.
Precisely. You are creating imaginary scenarios. That is the core of overthinking, creating problems that don't exist yet instead of solving the ones that do.
You know, it feels like I'm working really hard when I do it. My brain is running a marathon. I feel like I'm doing something important.
That is the trap. It feels like work, but it's not productive. There's a famous quote about this. Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair.
A rocking chair?
Yes, it gives you something to do, but it gets you nowhere. You move back and forth, expending energy, but you stay in the exact same spot.
That is the most accurate description of my life. I am exhausted from all the rocking, but I haven't moved an inch.
So the next time you catch yourself worrying, ask yourself, am I fixing the problem or am I just rocking in the chair?
I think I've been rocking in that chair for way too long. It's time to stand up.
It definitely is. But how do we know when we are sitting in that chair? Sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it until it's too late.
Right. What are the signs? How do I catch myself before I spiral out of control?
Let's talk about the symptoms, because your body and mind give you warning signs before the anxiety takes over. Okay, so we know overthinking is like a rocking chair, but how do you know when you're sitting in it? Sometimes it happens so automatically we don't notice.
Right. For me, the biggest sign is sleep or the lack of it. But are there other signs? Maybe things that happen during the day?
Absolutely. One of the most common signs is something called analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. That sounds serious. What does it mean?
It's when you overanalyze a situation so much that you become paralyzed and can't make a decision, even a simple one.
Oh, I definitely have that.
Give us an example.
Okay, ordering dinner. Last night, I opened a food delivery app. I wanted a burger, but then I thought maybe pizza is better value. Then I read the reviews for the pizza place. One person said the crust was soggy, so I went back to the burger place.
And how long did this take?
45 minutes. And in the end, I just ate instant noodles because I was too stressed to choose.
I nod. That is textbook analysis paralysis. You were so afraid of making the wrong choice, even for dinner, that you made no choice at all. You spent more energy choosing the food than eating it.
It's ridiculous, right? But I do the same thing with bigger decisions too, like buying a new phone or choosing a holiday destination. I get stuck in the details.
Another sign is second guessing. After you finally make a decision, do you trust it?
Never. The moment I make a choice, I think I should have chosen the other one. I constantly doubt myself.
That self-doubt is exhausting, which brings us to the third sign, mental fatigue. Do you ever feel physically tired, even if you haven't done any exercise?
All the time. Some days I sit at my desk all day, but by 5 p.m., I feel like I ran a marathon. My body is heavy and my head hurts.
That's because your brain burns a lot of energy. Worrying is hard work.
Okay, so I have analysis paralysis, I second guess everything, and I'm exhausted. We've diagnosed the patient. But why? Why am I like this, Luna? Was I born a worrier?
It's usually not something you're born with. It's a habit driven by deeper causes. The biggest one? Perfectionism.
Perfectionism. But I'm not perfect. Look at my desk. It's a mess.
Perfectionism isn't about being tidy. It's about the fear of making mistakes. You overthink because you want to avoid failure at all costs. You think, if I think about this long enough, I can prevent anything bad from happening.
That hits home. I feel like if I let my guard down, I'll mess up and people will judge me.
Exactly. It's a defense mechanism. Another cause is the need for control. We hate uncertainty. We don't know the future, and that scares us. So we try to predict it.
Yes, I try to prepare for every worst case scenario.
But Martin, can you actually control the future?
No. Usually the things I worry about never happen, and the bad things that do happen are things I never predicted.
Precisely. Overthinking is an illusion of control. It makes you feel safe, but it's a lie.
So it's fear of mistakes and a need for control. Is there anything else?
Often, it's also the past. If you made a mistake before and it went badly, your brain tries to protect you from feeling that pain again. It keeps hitting the replay button on your memories.
Wow. It's like my brain is trying to help me, but it's doing a terrible job.
That is a beautiful way to put it. Your brain is trying to protect you. It just needs to learn a better way to do it.
Okay, I understand the signs. I understand the causes. Now, please teach my brain that better way. How do I stop the paralysis?
I have 3 powerful strategies for you, and the first one is shockingly simple. All right, Martin, are you ready for the first strategy?
I am more than ready. I have my pen, I have my paper. Tell me, how do I stop the madness?
The first strategy is what I call catch it and change it. It sounds simple, but it requires practice. The first step is awareness.
Awareness? You mean just knowing that I'm doing it?
Exactly. Most of the time, overthinking runs on autopilot. You don't even realize you're worrying until you're already deep in the hole. You need to learn to catch yourself in the act.
Okay. So let's say I'm washing dishes and suddenly I start worrying about my retirement fund. What do I do?
You need to disrupt the pattern immediately. You can say it out loud or in your head. Stop. I am overthinking right now.
Just say it? I am overthinking.
Yes, by labeling it, you separate yourself from the thought. You are not the worry, you are the person observing the worry. It's a technique called name it to tame it.
Name it to tame it. I like that. But Luna, usually when I tell myself stop thinking, I just think about it more. It's like when someone says, don't think of a pink elephant.
And boom, you immediately see a pink elephant.
Exactly. So how does knowing I'm overthinking help me stop?
That brings us to the second part. Change it. You cannot simply delete a thought. You have to replace it. You need a distraction, but not just any distraction. It has to be physical.
Physical? Like doing push-ups?
If you like push-ups, yes. The goal is to get out of your head and into your body. When you overthink, all your energy is up here, points to head. You need to move that energy down.
So sitting on the sofa and scrolling through social media, is that a good distraction?
No, that is a passive distraction. It gives your brain too much space to keep worrying in the background. You need an active distraction, something that shocks your system a little bit.
Shocks my system? That sounds intense. Give me an example.
Here is a classic one. Change your environment. If you are worrying in your bedroom, stand up and leave the room immediately. Go to the kitchen. Go outside.
A change of scenery.
Yes, your brain associates the location with the worry. By moving, you break the association. Another tip, temperature. Splash cold water on your face.
Cold water? That sounds unpleasant.
It's supposed to be. The shock of the cold water triggers a reflex in your nervous system. It forces your brain to focus on the physical sensation. Oh, that's cold, instead of the worry. It's like a reboot button for your brain.
I see. So I can't think about my awkward email if I'm freezing my face off.
Exactly. You can't focus on 2 strong stimuli at the same time. Other ideas? Listen to a song and sing along loudly. Reorganize your bookshelf or take a brisk walk.
So the logic is action kills overthinking.
Precisely. You cannot think your way out of overthinking. You have to act your way out of it.
Okay, I'm going to try this. The next time I start spiraling, I'm going to stand up, say, I am overthinking, and then, I don't know, do 10 jumping jacks.
Perfect. It might feel silly, but silly is better than stressed, right?
Definitely. I'd rather look like a fool doing jumping jacks than feel like a zombie from lack of sleep.
That's the spirit. Now, this works great for immediate relief. But what if you have a genuine problem that you need to think about? You can't just distract yourself forever.
Right. Some worries are real. I do need to pay my bills. I do need to solve problems at work. I can't just splash water on my face and ignore them.
Correct. Ignoring real problems is not the solution. For that, we need a different tool. We need to schedule our worry. This is strategy number 2. Now, Martin, strategy number 2 is my personal favorite. It sounds a bit strange at first, but hear me out. I want you to schedule your worry.
Like what? Schedule it? Like a dentist appointment? Tuesday at 3 p.m. Panic about life.
Exactly, like a dentist appointment. That is the perfect analogy.
Luna, I can't control when I worry. It just pops into my head. I can't tell my brain, hey, hold that thought until Tuesday.
Actually, you can. It's called compartmentalization, or as I like to call it, creating a worry window.
Okay, explain this window to me. How does it work?
Here's the rule. You are allowed to worry as much as you want, but only during a specific time of day. Let's say from 5 p.m. to 5:20 p.m.
Okay, 20 minutes.
Yes, during those 20 minutes, you can sit down, cry, pace around the room, write down every terrible thing that might happen, go crazy. But when the timer hits 5:20 p.m., you stop. You close the window.
And what do I do the rest of the day? Let's say it's 10 a.m. and I start stressing about a deadline.
This is the magic part. When that thought comes at 10 a.m., you acknowledge it, and then you say to yourself, I am not going to solve this now. I will worry about this at 5 p.m.
So I'm postponing the worry?
Precisely. You're not suppressing it. You aren't saying, don't worry. You're saying, not now. It's much easier for your brain to accept later than never.
I see. It's like telling a child you can have candy, but only after dinner.
Yes. And do you know what usually happens when 5 p.m. arrives?
I assume I sit down and have a panic attack?
Often, no. By the time you get to your worry window, the emotion has cooled down. You might look at your list of worries and think, actually, this isn't that big of a deal anymore. Or you might even forget what you were worried about.
That actually makes a lot of sense. It takes the urgency away.
Exactly. It gives you back control over your day. Instead of letting anxiety interrupt you every 10 minutes, you contain it in a box.
But Luna, what if the worry is really important? What if I need to think about it to find a solution?
Then the worry window becomes a problem-solving window. Since you are setting aside dedicated time, you can sit down with a clear head and a notebook. You shift from what if to how do I fix this?
So it becomes productive instead of destructive.
Spot on. But Martin, there's one very important rule about the timing.
What is it?
Never, ever schedule your worry window right before bed.
Because then I'll be all fired up and I won't sleep.
Correct. Keep it in the late afternoon or early evening. Give yourself time to relax afterwards. Maybe schedule it right before a workout or dinner so you have something positive to move on to.
Okay, I'm willing to try this. The worry window. It sounds much better than the 24-hour worry buffet I've been living in.
The 24-hour worry buffet is officially closed, Martin.
So we have distraction for the sudden attacks and the worry window for the nagging thoughts. But what about the thoughts that are just chaotic? The ones that are so messy, I can't even describe them.
For those messy, chaotic thoughts, we need to get them out of your head entirely. We need to make them visible. That brings us to strategy number 3. So Martin, we have the worry window for scheduling. But what about those times when your brain feels like a crowded room, like everyone is shouting at once?
That is my brain 90% of the time. It's just noise. I can't even tell what I'm worried about specifically. It's just a cloud of stress.
When that happens, you need to declutter. You need strategy number 3, the brain dump.
The brain dump? That sounds unrefined.
It's not poetic, but it works. You need to get the thoughts out of your head and onto paper.
You mean like writing a diary? Dear diary, today I felt sad.
Not exactly. A diary is often about recording memories. A brain dump is about offloading data. Think of your brain like a computer with too many tabs open. It slows down. It overheats.
My brain is definitely overheating. The cooling fan is broken.
So writing is like closing those tabs. When you write a worry down, you are telling your brain, I have recorded this. You don't need to hold on to it anymore.
Does it really make a difference?
Huge difference. When thoughts stay in your head, they feel chaotic and infinite. When you see them on paper, they look manageable. Sometimes they even look silly.
I guess it's harder to be scared of a monster when you see it's just a shadow on the wall.
Exactly. It gives you perspective. So try to write for just 5 minutes a day. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about spelling. Just write.
Okay, I can do that. But Luna, what if I'm in a meeting or on the bus? I can't pull out a notebook and start writing. What do I do then?
Great question. In those moments, you need to bring yourself back to the present moment. You need a technique called grounding.
Grounding, like electricity?
In a way, yes, you're anchoring yourself to reality. Anxiety lives in the future. What if? Regret lives in the past. If only. But peace lives in the present, right now.
Okay, but be present is easier said than done. How do I actually do it?
We use our senses. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Do you want to try it right now?
Sure, I'm feeling a little anxious about the ending of this video, so let's do it.
Okay, take a deep breath. Now look around the room. Name 5 things you can see.
Okay, I see the camera. I see my coffee mug. I see the light on the ceiling. I see the pattern on your shirt. And I see that plant in the corner.
Great. Now name 4 things you can physically feel or touch.
I can feel the chair against my back. I can feel my feet on the floor. I can feel the texture of my jeans. And I can feel the table under my hands.
Excellent. Now name 3 things you can hear. Listen closely.
I hear the hum of the air conditioner. I hear a car driving by outside. And I hear my own breathing.
Good. Name 2 things you can smell. If you can't smell anything, just name 2 smells you like.
I can smell the coffee, and I can smell the rain outside.
And finally, name 1 thing you can taste.
The lingering taste of coffee.
Now, Martin, how do you feel?
Wow, I actually feel lighter. My heart stopped racing.
Because for that 1 minute, you weren't thinking about your boss or the future or your mistakes. You were just here.
I was just counting things. It's so simple, but it completely shifted my focus.
That is the power of mindfulness. It pulls you out of the storm and puts your feet back on solid ground.
So writing gets the thoughts out, and grounding brings me back to reality.
You've got it. These are your tools, Martin. You don't have to be a victim of your own mind anymore. Wow, we have covered so much ground today, Martin. From the spark of the email to the worry window and grounding. How are you feeling now compared to the start of the video?
Honestly, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. At the start, I felt trapped in my own head. Now I feel like I have a map to get out.
That makes me so happy to hear. But before we let you go get some well-deserved sleep, let's make sure these lessons stick.
Right. It's time for the vocabulary recap. My memory is terrible when I'm tired. So let's review the key terms we learned today.
Let's do a rapid fire round. I'll say the word and you explain what it means. Are you ready?
Born ready. Hit me.
Word number 1, to ruminate.
That means to chew on a thought over and over again like a cow. It's when your brain gets stuck in a negative loop without finding a solution.
Perfect. Word number 2, analysis paralysis.
That's when you overthink a decision so much that you can't choose anything. You get stuck or paralyzed trying to find the perfect option.
Correct. Word number 3, the snowball effect.
That's when a tiny problem, like a typo, rolls down a hill and grows into a massive disaster in your imagination, like living under a bridge.
Excellent. And finally, the idiom, to blow things out of proportion.
To treat a small problem like a huge crisis, to overreact.
You nailed it, Martin. You were listening.
I tried my best. But Luna, before we finish, I have one last confession.
What is it?
Honestly, even with all these strategies, I know I'm going to overthink again. I know I'll fail sometimes. And when I do, I usually feel really angry at myself. I think, Martin, you are so weak. Why can't you just chill?
Martin, stop right there. This is the most important lesson of the entire video, self-compassion.
Self-compassion?
Yes, you need to be kind to yourself. Overthinking is annoying, but it is also human. Everyone does it. You are not broken because you worry. You are just a person with an active brain.
So I shouldn't beat myself up?
Never. Think about it this way. If your best friend came to you and said, "I'm so worried about this email," would you scream at them? Would you say, "You are so stupid for worrying"?
No, of course not. I would tell them, it's okay. Breathe. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. So why do you treat yourself worse than you treat your friend? Be your own best friend, Martin. When you catch yourself overthinking, gently guide yourself back. Don't add guilt to the anxiety.
Don't add guilt to the anxiety. I like that. I'll try to be nicer to Martin from now on.
Please do. He deserves it.
Martin turns to camera, and that goes for all of you watching too. Be nice to yourselves.
Now it's time for our question of the day. We want to hear from you in the comments.
Here is the question. What is one thing you overthink about the most? And which strategy from today will you try first?
Is it work, relationships, or maybe choosing what to eat for dinner? For me, I'm going to use the worry window.
And for me, I'm definitely using the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. I need to get out of my head.
We read every single comment and we love hearing your stories, so please type your answer below.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps the algorithm find other overthinkers who need this advice.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to Learn English for more conversations that help you master English and master your life.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go take a nap now, a real nap, without thinking about my boss.
Good plan, Martin. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, don't believe everything you think.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the next video.